Hey YouTube, Colorado Hunter Hiker here, and I just got back from my very short and very quick 2017 Colorado archery trip. For those of you who'd like to see a few more pictures from that trip, be sure to follow us on Instagram under the handle Colorado Hunter Hiker, all one word. I'm going to put up some more pictures on there, so stay tuned. Let me first start by saying I barely made it out this year. Actually, I only got to hunt the last 2 days of the season, thanks mostly in part to work and a few other things. But I wanted to do an unloading video. I wanted to show you what's new in my system, and for those of you who have been following me for quite a while, you're going to realize that there have been some major changes. One preliminary matter, the pack that you're going to see in a second weighed 36 pounds with everything, food, water, everything except for my bow, because I carried that in my hand. So all I've done to this pack since I got home is take my sidearm off the hip there, but that's it. This is how it came out. And when I say I just got back, I mean I just got back. These boots are still wet. My sock liners are in there, synthetic sock liners, and REI socks. These are the Vask St. Elias. These will be changing as well. Stay tuned for that. Next, of course, always have the KUIU Yukon Gators. Can't say enough great things about these. I really don't care if it's wet or dry out, unless it's really just too hot at all to wear gators. Wear gators, trust me. Under that, I wore the 210. It's pretty cold, actually. Snow on the ground on the pack out, on the hike out anyway. So I wore my 210 KUIU zip top. It worked great. Also wore the 125 short sleeve from KUIU. Again, worked great. Last piece of KUIU item that I wore actually were the 145 zip bottoms. These zip from the top all the way down, so you don't have to take your boots off. They zip all the way to there, so you can leave your boots on, take your long underwear off. So if you want to wear it in the morning, you can wear it in the morning. Turn around, take them off, midday when it's nice and hot. You can actually put them back on. You gotta drop your pants, but you can put it back on without taking your boots off. So pretty sweet. And that actually does it for the KUIU items that I wore, brought, or had this time. I actually wore these. And for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you're gonna realize that I took the tag for these new First Light Obsidians off at the trailhead. I hadn't worn them, hadn't tested them, so I just threw them on and went out there, and they did amazing. Like I said, we saw everything from hail, rain, although not a lot of rain this time, mostly hail, and a lot of snow. These didn't get wet, and really at all. They got a little bit wet, they dried almost immediately. They worked great. I don't have a whole lot of technical specs on them other than that they're really comfortable, they're breathable. They have some really awesome pocket setups. I mean, they paid attention to detail on this, guys. They have spring-loaded zipper pulls, basically, so that they stay down, so they don't flop around. So you have to actually pull them up. So, I don't know. It's kind of nice, keeps them flat, makes it so they're out of the way, you're not stabbing yourself with them. Great pants. I will definitely do a review on those First Light Obsidians. You'll notice they do have suspenders. First time I've worn suspenders with a pack and a vinyl harness, and they did great. Moving on, like I said, I don't have a KUIU vinyl harness anymore. Alaska Guide creation, awesome. I can't say enough about this. In particular, really like the basement storage. This is the model. It's the size up. I believe it's the Cub, and then it has the basement, which I think is called Max. Don't know a whole lot about the company other than I know it's just a one-man band kind of show, and works great. I mean, I'm going to do a pretty in-depth review of this, but essentially a lot of my ditty pouch stuff, such as trioxane, awesome fire starter if you need it, compass, flashlight, lighter, contacts, stuff like that, all on the bottom. I mean, it was awesome. This is on me anyway, so why go digging in your bag if you don't have to. My rangefinder fits in the front. I had an open reed call in here, which as you can see is huge, and windicator, smoke in a bottle. This stuff is great. That was on this side. Inside, loop enclosure, Nikon binoculars, still a big fan of those. On the back here is actually another zippered pocket, and I have a new special release Kestrel knife that was done through the Guru project of Kuyu, and I didn't get it tested out, but even this sitting back here, so that I had a knife on me if I really needed one, worked really well. Wasn't uncomfortable. It was flat. My license and my tag is also in there. So, but yeah, I will be doing a very detailed review of this awesome vinyl harness. But if you guys are in the market, check these guys out. They're pretty sweet. Moving on, like I said, new pack, not a Kuyu pack anymore. I have moved on from that. I've tested that. If you are looking for that, either the 3200, the 1850, or the 5200, look at the channel. There are a whole bunch of videos on there. Take a look at it. Kuyu, you know, I thoroughly tested it, so I've moved on to Kifaru. They are made in USA. They are actually headquartered in Colorado, so I'm even more of a huge fan of that. This is a 24-inch duplex frame, the hunting model. Great bag, and this is the original. These two tubes is all that generally comes with it. It's the original Nomad. So we're gonna dive in. On the top here, you have a guide lid that I added. That's this piece. I don't like top lids by nature because you have a tendency to overstuff them and put really heavy stuff in it. So I'll show you what I put in there to stay away from adding weight above your head, essentially, which is easy to do. So trekking poles, I needed those, obviously, just cheap ones. I will be replacing those soon. As you can see, pretty simple to get in. I did not take my camp chair that is from Kifaru, so you guys have seen them before. I just took some section of Z-Light pad, worked great, and I needed it because there was lots of snow. Fuel tube from Elk Nut. I mean, it gets the job done pretty easily. Easy to do. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of tops that you stuff and get a ton of heavy stuff in here. So as you can see, you can get this off. It's pretty light. I actually don't know how much just this weighs, but it's really, really light. I added a small belt pouch on the top here. Inside that, I had easily, although I wore these, I took them off at the truck, but my First Light fingerless Talus gloves, these things are amazing. And I have another pair sitting just on the side of the camera. That's how amazing they are. I don't want them to quit making it. I guess I was wrong. I actually did have a few more Kuyu pieces. The Tiburon gloves, I usually wear these over my fingerless Talus gloves. I had the 145 Merino beanie that I ended up sleeping in because it was that cold. And then just usually keep a blaze orange brimless beanie from First Light. This is a great blaze piece if you are doing rifle hunting, or if you just want to have something that shows that you are not an animal when you're carrying out an animal. Really, I think the last, no, actually there's one more after this. It's just the 145 necked gator beanie. If I can get this out without hitting the tripod, that'd be nice. So, small belt pouch, all of that fit in there. Pretty sweet. Again, lightweight. I didn't want heavy stuff on the top. So, diving in. Sterapen, easy to get to. This is the classic. It is a great great water purification, especially if you're going to see cold temperatures, such as we got snowed on. So I'm glad I didn't have my Sawyer. Those get ruined if they get too cold. So Sterapen's great if you're going to be cold. In the top, to keep it nice and lightweight, Kuyu super down jacket, perfect. I used the heck out of that thing. It was cold out, so I used that. Another thing I used the heck out of was the new Vapor Stormlight rain jacket from First Light. Again, review will be coming of that. Great jacket. If you're in the market for a rain jacket, definitely check it out. And we'll come back to that. Trash. Please pack your trash in. If you take it in, pack it out. Nice. As you can see, the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is leaking just a little bit in there, so that's always good. But as you can see, it's easy to wipe off. So we'll come back to that. But First Light spot or diamond spot, black diamond spot. Great headlamp. It does have orange. You can lock it so it doesn't turn on in there. Great headlamp. Runs on 3 AAAs. Really simple. Yeah, looks like these did open, so we'll pull these out. But these are carbo masks. As you can see, it opened in there, but so I'm going to wipe it all off here and show you that it wipes off. That's the cool part about it. So it's basically face paint that wipes off when you want it to, but I actually wore this all day. I didn't have to reapply once. It stayed on, and as you can see, it's pretty easy cleanup. So, you know, check them out. Huge fan of them. Lightweight, but again, when you want, just by simple rubbing, pretty much wipes off. Pretty clean. Great stuff. Check them out. Big fan of them. I've also got in here this little chamber pocket on the inside. I got rid of essentially a ditty bag, having to jump in and get that and pull things out. So things like contacts, things that I needed to get to pretty much all the time are in here. So contacts, wet ones to wipe off at the end of the day. I've got to take a baby aspirin every day, so that's in there. And then cell phone charger. If you guys are looking for a cheap, not a super durable, but cheap option for cell phone chargers, check out this MoPower. I'll put a link in there. I've had this. It's a 10,000 milliamp, it has a 2.1 amp and a 1 amp charger. It also can turn a LED light on. I think it did it twice, and that's what you do. I mean, this thing sat in my basement uncharged for 9 months, and it still had half a charge in it. It's about the size of an iPhone 6 Plus, so really I can stick both of these in a cargo pocket and charge it on the run. I'm a big fan of that. Cheap. I think it's 20 or 30 bucks. Pretty cheap. Definitely cheaper than the Dark Energy, but Dark Energy is probably going to last a little more. So that's the whole guide lid. Like I said, I don't like heavy things in there. I'd be surprised if that thing weighs more than 2 pounds with everything I had in there. So after that, you're just down into the top of the bag. On the back here, when you open it up, let's see if we can get that in the frame. Yeah, the top here is called a lock and load pocket. It comes without anything here. So these three, the top load, the lock and load pocket, the other chamber pocket, which is right below it, and the grab it, which is right here, just tucked under. Those are additions. You can add them. You don't need them. Don't put them on. Inside this lock and load, which is an 11 size, I have a backup Nova Beam, which is a 3,000 milliamp charger in case something goes wrong and I need that other one craps out or something. First aid kit, kill kit. Pretty simple. This is my emergency kit now. You know, things are bad, I need to get to it, but that's why it's in the center of the pack, all the way at the back. I usually don't need to get to it. I'll go through the contents of it here, but you've probably seen them before in another video. After that, on the bottom here, this is, if I can hold this in frame so you can see it. Yeah, there we go. This is a spotting scope pocket that I have taken and just added at the bottom. Inside here, and I just had this carabiner on here so that it would stay closed, and I didn't have a problem, but I didn't want to have a problem. So we'll turn that spotting scope pocket, right? Inside, got a Kifaru Paratarp. That was my shelter. Awesome shelter. I am going to probably get a super tarp just for a little more room and maybe a stove. Minimalist, REI Bivy, very cheap. if you're going to use it, don't use it down the bag. Ask me how I know that. Condensation issues. And then inside is my 19-degree REI Igneo bag, which is down, as you can see it blowing away there. That bag's going to get replaced with something that I'm pretty excited about getting, again, through Kifaru. So those of you who know anything about the company are probably aware of what I'm headed toward. On the belt, water bottle pocket. This is a glow-in-the-dark Nalgene from Kifaru with a cap. I'll put a link in the description of that too. Worked great. Garmin E-Trex, the left side of the belt. I've gotten some of you that want to know where these clips come from. I think they come with this set. If not, I'll put a link to where you can buy additional ones. FHF lanyard, so if you drop it, it stays around, it doesn't go anywhere. You pick it back up, no big deal. Some of you complained or said that these are really loud, and they are. You just click them like that, but you can push the button down and then put it back in. It's kind of hard to do one-handed, but you can push it down and it's locked in, locked back in quietly. So it takes some practice, but you can do it. I was one of the lucky ones that got one of the Phelps mouth call pouches. Honestly, didn't get to use it much, but I really like the idea. It's really cool. It sits right on the shoulder strap there. On this side, I had my Bear Grylls. Gerber scout knife and my sidearm, which is a Glock 45 caliber, and an extra magazine. I'm probably going to get a holster that doesn't have the extra magazine just to get rid of weight. I don't need to carry an extra magazine, but I did this time just because. So that takes care of the belt. Going back into the columns here. So what the bag actually comes with are these two columns, and that's pretty much all you get. So that's where I've got the rest of this stuff. I've got my Cocoon travel pillow. Great, super comfortable. If you aren't sleeping well in the backcountry, try a pillow. Makes a big difference. They're not very expensive, but if you want a pad that is pretty expensive but is insulated, this is a long and wide, so it's 25 by 78, Big Agnes SLX Q-Core SLX. Great pad. As you can see, it's pretty big, but it is 3.5 inches thick. It is amazing. That makes you sleep pretty well in the backcountry. We're close to water, so I didn't really need it, but I brought 2 of the camp canteens in case we couldn't find water. Told you the last Kuyu piece of gear is actually these North Star gloves. I needed these. It was cold and wet. Waterproof gloves were key. Like I said, I didn't know if those pants were going to fit, so I brought my Kuyu belt to wear on my First Life pants, which would have been kind of funny, but I had the 145 Merino long sleeve tee, which I didn't end up needing, but it was pretty cold. And then I just got a new Kifaru shirt to sleep in. I don't like sleeping in merino wool, so just a cotton t-shirt. I didn't hike in it or anything like that. When I wasn't wearing, I actually didn't wear this at all, but this is the Tiburon Zip Tee shirt that is what I swear by for hiking out in hot weather. That's definitely key. This is what I wore when I wasn't wearing the long johns. First Light boxers, great. They worked really well. I had an extra pair of liners in case my liners got soaked. Aquamira water treatment, stuff works great. This one's not open, but I brought it to use it in case we needed it. We didn't end up needing it, just used the Sterapin. So this side again, another Camp Nalgene. Those things are great. They fold up. Cook kit, you guys have seen these before. The Kifaru pullout. stakes for my paratarp. Worked out really well. Again, tested that one pretty well. This was my food bag. Only went for a couple days. I think that's it. One thing I am going to say is I actually did try, maybe they're in here, yeah. Actually had both the Heather's Choice dark chili and the salmon chowder, and I can tell you both of those were delicious. That's it. That's all I've got. That was this year's archery setup. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be glad to do some videos on specific items. Yeah. As always, you know, if you want me to do a video on something, just let me know. If these videos are something you'd like, go ahead and click the subscribe button. It should be down here somewhere. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Colorado Hunter Hiker, all one word. Like I said, there are some good photos on there from the last trip, and that's it. I'll put links to all of this stuff in the description, so if you need help finding something, let me know. Thanks, guys and gals. Have a great day.